Yeah. So for when I trade on Webull, there's different preset layouts that they give you. I don't personally like them. I think this is also just not for options. This is for if you're buying shares. Um, so for example, it's all linked together, right? So this is light, LITE. It's all linked together. It'll show you time and sales. It'll show you the order book. And you can actually just buy shares through here. So Webull is very good on desktop for buying shares as well, but obviously I don't do that. So if I'm going to set up a trading, if I'm going to set up a trading options trading workspace, I'm recording this session. You can see, but or you can take a screenshot. So first and foremost, the chart. Chart's the most important thing because you need to see what's going on. So I'll put the chart here, and then next, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. And then next, I'm going to add the options book, which is here. And you can have this as wide or as narrow as you want. I like to have it just so I can see uh, the bid ask just enough. So you see how you can see the bid ask here. I keep it about halfway, so I can see the bid, I can see the ask for these options. And then I expand the chart over. And then next I want to have my order entry, my orders pending, which I put right here. And I have my positions, which I put down here. And you can do it however you want. It's really completely up to you. Um, and then I also want to have the uh, order book, which I don't actually have access to level 2 right now. I look at Thinkorswim for that. But if you have level 2 for Webull, I would highly recommend keeping it in here. And I think you get a month free with Webull. So I keep the order book down here. I keep my orders here, my positions here. So whenever you go to buy an option, I'll show you how to do that. So I keep this book wide open like this. I want to see all the options that I need to look at, right? And it gives you the dates. Like when we say we're getting an April, let me link these all together, right? So let me say this is group 1. I'm going to set this as group 1. I'm going to set this, there's no group because these are just orders, and set this as group 1, right? So now SPY is all linked. So let's say someone says, okay, I'm getting the Clorox call. I type in Clorox, right? Now I'm here, and I can pull up the entire options book, right? So I bought this April today, so I pull down April. I usually filter like 30 on either side, or I can see 30 of the options that are available from 115 all the way up to 320. Now, if I said I'm buying the 400 call, you'd have to obviously look at all of them so you can get all the way that high. Well, they don't even have one that's that high, but I usually keep it around 30 just so I can see like kind of, we're not going to be going that far out. And then you look at both. I mean, if you don't play puts, if that's not your thing, like that's no problem. You could just look at calls and have only the calls, and then you can close this a little bit more and get more chart area. But I have it on both, and then basically that's pretty much set up. And then what you'll do is, so let's say someone calls out, I'm buying Tilray, right? So you put in Tilray. So you have the chart here. You can see how it's doing. What's nice is you can still chart in here. Like I can still put on VWAP. I can still put on MACD. I can still do Fibonacci. I can still do like Fibonacci retracements on this stock. Like I still can have all this charting here, but it's kind of condensed a little bit, so it's all in one place. This is how I prefer to do it, and everyone's different. You'll find over time, you'll find what works for you. Um, so yeah, so let's say someone calls out Tilray, right? And I say, okay, they say they're getting the um, March 5th, March 5th, 6 or 54 call. Oh, this is a bad example because these are all so expensive. Let's look at like BAC. Let's say someone's getting the February 26th, 36 call, right? So there's a bid, which is what you have to buy from, and ask, which is what the seller is asking. And you can look at stats such as the theta, so you know what the theta decay is on your contract, gamma, delta, your open interest. So we kind of look for contracts that have a large open interest. So you can see the 33 call has a lot more than the rest of them. You can see the implied volatility here, which is really nice because that's important to know. You can see the mid price of between the minute. So if the bid-ask spread was kind of wide and you can't do the quick math to figure out what the middle price is, it'll tell you what the mid price is, and then percent change from yesterday or from since market open, what the percent change is, or no, from market close yesterday, what the percent change is on the day. And then the last is like after every minute or every second or few seconds, it'll tell you what the last price was. So if you say to yourself, I'm looking at the 34 call, I'll get in if the last price was around like 30, like you'll wait for it to come down. As soon as you see that, you can get in. So if someone says I'm calling out the 34 call for February 26th, pull up the option book. It's here. I go to the 34 call, and if I'm buying a call, calls are on the left, they're labeled with the up arrow calls, and on the right puts are down. You would say you click here because you click here. So basically, if you're buying, right, then you need to bid to a seller. So it's pretty intuitive. You click the ask, which brings up the buy option. It doesn't really matter because you can always switch it. But you click here. Make sure green means buy. It confirms by showing you want this strike. It'll confirm it. And then I always use limit orders. I never do market orders. And I look at the bid, I look at the ask. I think, you know what, if I bid 41, it'll probably get filled. So I'll put in my price of 41, and I'll click buy, it will be here. It'll be buy, and it'll ask you to confirm. So you just click that and click buy, and then what will happen is this will close, and your order will automatically be sent into the order book, and it'll show pending. And as soon as it fills, you'll hear a ding. You'll get a notification saying that your order was filled, and it'll drop down to your live positions, and your positions will show a cumulative profit or loss percentage and dollar amount. And then when you're ready to close, in your position chain here, you'll have your position, and there'll be a little 3 dots to the left. You just click it, and it'll say close position, and it brings up the same thing. But instead of buying, now you're selling it, and you put in a limit price of what you think. If you want to wait for a price, you set a limit, or if you think someone's ready to buy it, you can set it a little bit lower, and then you just click sell. And then it'll sit in the order book. It'll sit here on orders, sell, and then you'll hear a ding to confirm that it was sold, and it'll completely disappear from your screen. And then that profit will be logged in your account page showing you what you profit or lost on that. And that's pretty much. And what's cool is I do know that Webull does have paper trading. I don't know if it has options paper trading, which I would love to make use of that. I think that's a very valuable thing to have. But I don't believe that it has paper trading right now for options. I think it's just stocks. And that's a little bit about. And the account page, that just shows you up here is your cash balance, how much settled cash you have. In the middle, it'll show your account balance, your cumulative PL for the day or for whatever time frame you select. And then it'll tell you your risk of whether or not you're safe or whatever. And then it'll just have a bunch of confirmations showing your filled orders, your buy and sell prices, all that. And then it'll actually give you a list of stocks. So it'll have whatever stock you've ever traded and a dollar amount, either plus or minus, of what you've ever made or lost on that stock. So it's pretty cool to keep track of stocks. Like if I have a stock that I've lost a lot on, I kind of put it on my do not trade list because I clearly didn't have a good history with it. So yeah, this is the most important takeaway from this is my layout for trading. I have it split right down the middle of the screen. I have my entire option book open on the left, the chart on the top right, and my orders positions here. I don't even look at this, so I could probably get rid of it. So yeah, this is pretty much. If you want to take a screenshot right now or a picture or something to see what the layout is, the most important thing is the option book, the chart, and your orders and positions.
Temperature, don't you?
No.
Okay.
Now, I know that was a lot to throw out of you. Does anyone have any questions about Webull?
No, I like how it looks. Like I took a picture of it. Just one question: if you want to buy shares instead of options, how would you change on the
Same
left?
thing. So you actually don't have to go anywhere. So you can actually right-click here and you click buy. I need to put in my. You can actually right-click, and it's cool because they actually give you a lot of alerts. So you can actually do alerts too. So I can create an alert here, and I can say, okay, when BAC is above this price, send me a notification, and it'll push to your phone once every minute, which is cool. But yeah, so if you want to buy, all you do is you see where the price is going. You can actually click buy, and then it'll pull up an order sheet, and you just put in how many shares you want to buy and your limit price. And what it'll do is it'll actually physically on the chart, it'll draw. It looks like this all the way over, and then it'll have like a little thing that says buy limit on it. And as soon as the stock is in that range, you know you'll get filled. So you know where your order is sitting in terms of price.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then how would you draw the Fibonacci lines in like
Yeah.
actual like,
So I can go
rate?
over that now. So let me open up this. Let me close this, close this, close this, close that. So all the charting on here is Webull's charting is very easy. So obviously your time frames are here. You can add more. I personally use 1, 5, 30, 1 hour, day, week, month, but I don't even look at the monthly. I should probably put on the 4 hour too. That's probably important. So here you have the indicators button. So right now, let's just pretend nothing's on, right? And we're looking at the 1 hour. Let's delete that. So there's nothing on now, right?
Yep.
Blank chart. So indicators here. If I want to look at VWAP, put that on. It's a yellow line or an orange line. MACD. Keep it underneath here. RSI here. And one of the most important things also is what I forgot to show you was on the way I trade on my trading layout, I have the RSI turned on. Just to keep an idea of what the momentum's looking like. So yeah, so that's how you turn on these indicators, RSI, MACD. That's how you turn those on. Volume, it's overlaid here, so I don't really look at it. It's because it's here, like you can see what it is. And what's nice is if you hover over a candle at the top left here, it shows you what the volume is on that specific time frame. So when we talk about, oh my God, look at that volume spike, like I can see it. I don't really need to be having the volume up at the bottom of the screen. And then, so those are indicators, right? So those are the indicators. I'll turn them all off. Now, if I'm doing drawings, it's just the drawings tab. And I will say Webull is very limited. It's not the same as Thinkorswim that JB is using for charting. It's not the same. But it does have good functionality. Trend line, whatever trend line you want to draw. A horizontal line is good for support and resistance, right? Like we said, draw that. Now we have a resistance line. Another horizontal line, like here, support line, whatever. You can also do vertical lines. I don't know why you would ever draw a vertical line unless you're like manually charting out time frames like this. I don't think I've ever seen anyone use a vertical line, but it's there if you want it. If you want extended lines, you just go like this, so you don't have to draw the trend line. You can just have it going for infinite, right? So like this is good if you wanted to draw a trend line like that, right? So those are the trend lines, and I believe array. I don't really see the point of array. It's kind of the same thing. It just, instead of going in two directions, just starts at one and goes in one direction. You can draw parallel lines, which I think is cool. I've never even used this. I don't even know what the... Yeah, so this is pretty cool too. If you want to draw channels, it makes it very easy to draw channels. So parallel lines are really good. I actually should probably start using that. I don't think I've ever used that. Rectangle is good for like highlighting certain things. We haven't talked about supply and demand zone that much, but supply and demand goes kind of similar to how support and resistance works. So if you identify a support line, right, or let's say you identify a resistance line, if you are expecting some sort of movement within